The last thing I expected in 2024 was that Pokemon was going to be on Diddy Watch. So for those who don't know, Central Leaks is one of the top leakers on Twitter for Pokemon content. And they just released a ton of original script and story ideas for Pokemon, and they are disturbing, to say the least. For example, it says here, in the distant past, when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was still blurred, there was a woman and her companions. Every day they were bored. They would often catch Slaykoths living in the nearby forest. They played cruel games with the Slaykoth, captured them, sometimes unaliving them for fun, gouging out their eyes and cutting off their ears. Now, I knew that Pokemon always had a mature side to it that just didn't really get to the Western media, like them literally being cut in half. But to go this far, what were they cooking at that time, or what were they smoking? And that story only gets worse because at some point, the Pokemon actually get revenge, and in the most atrocious way possible. During one of her adventures to actually capture a Slaykoth, she falls out of a tree and gets hurt. This, however, gives the Slaykoth and the Pokemon friends a chance to get some revenge. Now, as they approach her, she actually ends up passing out due to fear. And this is where it gets absolutely crazy. She regains consciousness outside of the forest entrance, and seemingly she's okay. However, sometime later, the woman gave birth, but it wasn't a human child. It was a Slaykoth. Now, her friends wanted to try to help her, even though they didn't know that she actually cared for the Slaykoth. They went, and while she was asleep, unalived the Slaykoth and brought it back to her. This actually, however, makes the woman incredibly sad, and she takes the body of the Slaykoth, goes into the middle of a lake, and jumps in, unaliving herself. And this is how they miraculously start treating Pokemon like they're actually Pokemon and not just monsters for their enjoyment. They start to treat the Slaykoth like real Pokemon. That was, I guess, the story. That was the big message, but I didn't expect it to take that kind of turn.